Also, the steam engine is the centerpiece of the museum, and it's from the Frisco Railroad. And also, the museum is where you can live the rich history of railroad, and you'll also find a baggage car and caboose from the Burlington Northern Railroad, and a bi-level car from the Chicago Northwestern as well. And a lot of railroad history you'll even experience as well as here at the museum. Okay, you can see here these canoes right beside you. Pilots on the wheels, and also like these two were built by Fairmont. It says, when descending railroad descending from this railroad tracks. Okay, you can see right here, this is a handcart that's been part of the Railroad Historical Museum in Springfield, Missouri, Grand Beach Park, and you can see here displayed where it is today. Okay, you can see up above you, that's a railroad signal. It was used on railroad tracks years ago. Now it's displayed on this pillar at the museum here in Springfield at Grand Beach Park. Railroad energy here. What you see right behind me is Frisco 4524.
Frisco 4524 was built by Baldwin in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1943 and is the 697 40th steam locomotive built by that factory and is a 484 Northern type steam locomotive and is a 4500 class steam locomotive. Frisco 4524 was once intended for freight service on the Frisco Railroad, which is short for St. Louis-San Francisco Railroad. Frisco 4524 was one of the last 10 of the group delivered in 1943, numbered from 4515 to 4524. Also is coal burners and were built with trailing truck boosters that were soon retrofitted to earlier engines, and this one was the last steam engine built for the Frisco 4524, and several other 4500s were built in 1952 and then stored behind the Linwood Roundhouse in St. Louis, Missouri, until they were either scrapped or donated for display. And Frisco 4524 was donated to Springfield, Missouri in 1953 by the Frisco and put on display at the Railroad Historical Museum in Grand Beach Park, where it is today. As the locomotive made its way to the museum in the fall of 1953, the locomotive was moved with a diesel locomotive, and 24 railroads were assigned to get the project done. Also, the crews cut into the West Belt Railroad line near the stockyards and put in a temporary switch to get the locomotive off the Frisco when the crew had to work fast to do their best not to hold up the train traffic. The locomotive got powered by compressed air forced into the boiler and cylinders pumped in with a portable air compressor, and the plan was ready to roll. The locomotive laid down temporary tracks laid down in the middle of Calhoun Street, and workers would place in 105 feet of tracks in front of the engine and move it slowly forward. Then take one section of track, as this was the leapfrogging the loco, and would be repeated over and over, block by block. Then operation had to cross back over the West Belt track at Calhoun, and everything had to come to a halt and let railroad traffic come through the crossing with a freight train bound for downtown. Then the work continued and the locomotive made the rest of its way to the destination there. There was one incident on the way for the engine's front wheels jumping a track on a curve that was laid too tightly and took half a day's work to get the locomotive back on track. Frisco thought it was a 4 to 5 day job, but it took at least 10 days. But then 4524 finally made her way to Grand Beach Park as her last journey was over. From the 1950s to onward, the locomotive sat in the elements, and also it was rusty, and also it was vandalized as it was spray painted and some parts were stolen and glass was broken. Then by the 1990s, the city saw the loco rusting and didn't go to scrap and was saved, and one waged by dedicated volunteers with a museum. Also, in the spring of 2011, the locomotive got a cosmetic restoration that lasted a number of years till it was completed with a gutter was put over the locomotive as well. Also, Frisco 4524 is one of 4 surviving Frisco 484s left in the world today, and 4524 can be found here at the Railroad Historical Museum in Springfield, Missouri, where it is on display today. And also you can even visit the locomotive's cab and sit where the engineer and fireman used to sit, and even ring the locomotive's bell, but the cord could be pulled from beside the locomotive. And you'll also see there's a pneumatic whistle that you could blow as well. And that's how it's done. And that's how it's done. What you see right behind me is Burlington Northern 976-100. Burlington Northern 976-100 was built I believe, in the 1950s and is a baggage mail express car. Burlington Northern 976-100 was used on board passenger trains for the Burlington Northern Railroad many years ago and carried baggage and mail on board many years ago. This car was originally used for the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad on passenger trains and used on the California Zephyr passenger train, and then went to be used on the Burlington Northern Railroad after that. Then, in 1990, the car was retired and then came to be on display at the Railroad Historical Museum in Springfield, Missouri, where it can be seen today. And you could even check out the interior of it as well, and you'll also find exhibits inside as well. Chicago Northwestern 2 was built by the St. Louis Car Company in St. Louis, Missouri in 1955 and is a bi-level coach. Chicago Northwestern 2 was once used on the Chicago Northwestern passenger trains many years ago. and was used as part of a commuter train of the railroad. Then later it was used on the Metra commuter line as Metra 7601 and would run on trains from locations in and out of Chicago, Illinois. Then in 2000 the car was retired and then came to be on display at the Railroad Historical Museum in Springfield, Illinois, in Springfield, Missouri, where it can be seen today, and you could even check out the interior of it as well, and you'll also find exhibits inside as well.
You see right behind me is Burlington Northern 10768.
Burlington Northern 10768 was built by the International Car Company in Kenton, Ohio in 1973 and is a wide vision caboose. Burlington Northern 10768 was used on freight trains of the Burlington Northern Railroad behind freight trains as the train crew's office as well. Then, in 1989, Burlington Northern 10768 was retired and came to be on display at the Railroad Historical Museum in Springfield, Missouri, where it can be seen on display today, and you can even check out the interior of it as well, and you'll also find exhibits inside as well. The construction of the Max John Depot was started in 2016 and is a replica of a train depot from the early 1900s and is named for longtime museum volunteer Max John. The depot opened in late April of 2017 to the public to see and enjoy, and also inside the depot you'll find artifacts and exhibits. Also, this depot is like a train station built a long time ago, and also it can be seen here at the Railroad Historical Museum in Springfield, Missouri, where it was put together and where it is seen today.
Okay, you can see right here, this is a replica. You'll find things 2016, I believe, or 2015. Replica Frisco caboose. Okay, you're not going to believe what I'm about to show you. Passenger cars in the caboose. I'll show you around.
Okay, so walking around in here, there's a model of the steam engine here. And here's some old mugging cups. Look at all these. Oh, and this was made. You don't want to run it, I can turn it off. No, it's fine. And this is a 19 steam engine built in 1903 in Springfield, displayed at the fair, and it goes off. This is a grain car. There's some old brochures, and let's go back here. Here's an old typewriter. This is in the baggage car. And here's some old... Look at all these. We're crossing. Yep, it's cool in here. That's why they have fans. And also, here's more telegraph key. And yeah, old books and such. Wow. Cans. That's fair. some pictures. And here's a Harvey girl, the conductor, and here's some pictures of trains. And yeah, look at all these pictures. Southern Pacific. Yep, so much. Here's when the steam engine came to the museum, to its final resting spot. Old lanterns and such. Wow. Let's go into the bi-level. Yep. There's some DVDs playing with trains. Look at all these picture frames on the wall. Pretty cool, eh? That's the Frisco 1522, which is in St. Louis, Missouri. That when it was running. Yep, it is. Let's look through the car. Wow, look at all these picture frames that are in here. Use next stairs. So we can't go through these stairs though. So this is, look at all these pictures in here. BNSF. This is, we're in the bi-level like I said, because you can see these doors open by themselves and these steps. This car was used for Chicago's Metra commuter line. So here we are going through. Let's go up here. Look at these pictures right here. Pretty cool, eh? And here's some on the wall. Maybe go down there. It's pretty cool up here, isn't it? Yeah. Let's go up the other stairs. Yep. You can see up here. Let's walk through here. Okay.
No, you can't go over there.
Some
Didn't want on the table, look them on.
passengers. And look around here. That's the Stevens rocket, which was built in England. Here's some China plates. And here's an HO train. A lot of pictures they have in here. Look at this here. Excuse me. I think I'll go. Yeah. That's a Mount Washington Cog steam engine, which is Mount Washington's the oldest cog railway in the world. Let's walk through the picture frames. And let's go back to, I think you all have seen it this way. And here is N-scale model railroad. It says, please keep hands out of glass or it will break, because they just want you guys to respect their display. There's an HO model railroad, and there's an HO model, the steam engine that lives here. Chicago Northwestern diesel. And let's go into the caboose.
Yeah.
Pretty cool in here. Here's some pictures on the wall. Wow, so much to see here. And here's a lot to see here. Cupola. And here's some more pictures on this wall. Excuse me. The Frisco 1522. Look at all these pictures. That looks like when the Burlington Northern Santa train happened. And yeah, we've come to the end. Here's another signal light that was donated by BNSF and displayed here at the museum. And with this circuit box. Okay, you can see right here. This is a signal light with one light.
Dead end light, I think it would be called. Donated by BNSF. Light was donated by BNSF and displayed here at the museum. Okay, here's a privacy right here. One of the volunteers back there allowed it to turn on, so this was used to wait at a railroad crossing years ago. Thought I'd step back here, so if you'd like to hear it one more time, hit it! Pretty cool, huh? Okay, you can see right here, this is a switch stand that can be found right in front of the steam locomotive, and it's part of the railroad memorabilia here at the Railroad Historical Museum here in Springfield, Missouri. As well as there's more than this. Okay, you can see right here. Seven right here around me. Like you could use. These were used on this switch points on the tracks, and now they're here at the Springfield, Missouri, and seen on display. Show you the exhibits in there. The Max John Depot. Show you around, so I'll get behind the camera. So come on.
Okay, we're walking into the Max John Depot, showing the exhibits, and if you're walking inside, it smells kind of like a hardware store a bit. There's Frisco 1515. You can read this if you want to. And here's a regulator grandfather clock. Built and dedicated 2017. And here's Max John, Charles A. Fuller, Jeanette Musgrave, and here's a Golden Steam engine, Frisco 4524, pretty cool. And here's some picture frames on the wall. Let's go back here. This is like a waiting room. I mean, this is a ticket office. This is a teletype machine, which here, welcome to the museum is what it says. Which it would come from here, come to here. And here's an old phone that you pull out, and I wonder,
they'll tell
old-fashioned telephone.
Yeah, still work, but it ain't hooked up to anybody, so you can't really
And here is a
send and receive.
telegraph key.
Put one switch down right there.
Excuse me. Here's
Let's see.
more back here. This is like a library. You'll see there are pictures of Frisco trains and such. Yeah. And here's a boxcar as well. Replica. And here's an engineer. And it's like, and I think this guy might be, if you want to read this, you can. Feel free to pause. So, yeah, there's a lot to see in here, of course.
I hope you enjoy learning about trains with me today. Matthew Lap Train Guy segment show. Also, I hope to see you all again in the next segment. So this is Matthew Lap, host of Matthew Lap Train Guy segment show, signing out until